friends, how's it going? It's Ultimus, and today's video is going to be very different. It might not appeal to everybody, so be forewarned. Obviously, if you've seen the title, you know what this is about. It's going to be very short, very quick, just kind of more so getting the info out there for you guys in case you were unaware. Though I feel like this kind of stuff is expected with every expansion launch when it comes to World of Warcraft, but that is the system requirements for it. Now, WoW has never been a very system heavy or intensive game. You've always been able to play it on fairly low end computers. You haven't needed a whole lot of memory or hard drive space, but of course as the game gets bigger, more expansions come out, patches come out, definitely going to be needing more. Of course, as the game gets larger, the textures get better every expansion. We can see that, you know, the graphics and the textures on the players and the animations and all of the NPCs and everything just gets more intensive. And so I thought it'd be worth just kind of highlighting these, go over these, so at least you guys would have a point of reference if you didn't understand or know that these are out. Of course, I will post a link to this page on Wowhead for you guys to look at yourself. I tried to zoom in on my screen and make it a little bit bigger so you guys were able to see it. That way you would be able to actually kind of follow along with me as I'm going through reading this stuff and not having to just take my word for it. So, let's go ahead and check it out. Operating system. The minimum requirements are Windows XP or Vista 7, 8, Windows 10 with the latest service pack, and of course with Mac OS 10.10. However, it does recommend Windows 10 64-bit with the latest service pack or OS 10.11 latest version. I recently have updated to Windows 10 and I do have a 64-bit system, so I'm not too worried about that. Processor, Intel Core 2 Duo, which again is pretty low end. AMD Phenom 2, which was what my original computer had in it. I had a Phenom 2 in it, so again, a fairly inexpensive processor for that. Although it is recommended having at least an Intel Core i5 or an AMD FX 6300 or better. Again, I'm not too worried about that. I'm running an i7 on my PC, so it shouldn't be too intensive for me. And i5s aren't too expensive either. At least nowadays, they're pretty fairly priced, so there's that. With the video card, you're looking at running a minimum of an NVIDIA GeForce GT 440 or an AMD Radeon HD 5670 or Intel HD Graphics 5000. I'm imagining that is for laptops. However, it does recommend having an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 750 Ti or an AMD Radeon R7 26X or better. I am currently running a GTX 770 in my computer as well, so that shouldn't affect me too much. Although I'm looking at upgrading my graphics card hopefully soon because reasons, why not? But again, still looking fairly, to be able to just run the game, still looking pretty good. Minimum requirements, you're looking at 2 gigabytes of RAM or memory, recommended 4 gigs. However, Mac, that is significantly different. Minimum requirements on a Mac, you're looking at 4 gigabytes of memory, and then recommended is 8. I feel like, again, even getting 8 gigabytes of RAM is fairly easy, and most people, I feel like, shoot for the higher-end RAM when they're getting their laptops anyways, so I don't feel like this should be too much of a issue for people, but I know that's not everybody, so just keep that in mind. If you're wondering, of course, can you run Warlords, or not Warlords, Herder, Legion on your PC? If I've been saying Warlords this entire time, I mean Legion, so there's that. Probably should make sure that I'm speaking properly before I start quoting things. Again, over there, for, I guess, the graphics that we should go over to for the Mac, looking at a GeForce GT 640M or an ATI HD 4850 or Intel HD Graphics 5000, so fairly similar specs again for the Mac as opposed to the PC, and then of course recommended is the NVIDIA GT 775M or the AMD Radeon R9 M290X or better. Same amount of hard drive space required, 45 gigabytes of hard drive space, 45 gigabytes of hard drive space. I'm actually quite fortunate. I have a solid state drive set aside exclusively for my operating system and WoW, since those are the two things I run the most. Operating system by default, obviously, but then WoW is pretty much what I'm doing when I'm sitting at my computer, unless I'm YouTubing or editing stuff, so it just makes sense to me. Make sure you have a broadband internet connection, which again is, I feel like at least most people in the Americas. I know this can depends on where you're at in other parts of the world as well, but most people have broadband minimum, so shouldn't be there. Media, DVD, ROM drive, of course, if you're buying the physical copy. But I feel like most people buy it digitally nowadays anyways. I don't, at least in my circle of friends, I can't think of anybody I've talked to in the past couple years that has actually bought it like a physical copy. Let me know in the description of this video if you still get physical copies or do you just do all digital. I know I got my copy of Legion already and I bought the digital one. I did. I just, as against pre-orders of games as I am, I caved. I was terrible. I'm a horrible person. But so I feel like DVD ROM drives are a little outdated, though they are still essential, obviously, if you're buying the physical copy. Inputs, still keyboard and mouse required. No controller support. Not a surprise there. Same thing with Mac. No controller support. Minimum resolution. 1024 by 768 is a minimum display resolution. And it's the same on a Mac as well. So, I mean, I feel like what we're looking at here is pretty easy to acquire when it comes to system specs, whether you're running a laptop, building your own PC, or buying a pre-built PC. Most computers should still be able to run WoW. I don't think we'll run into too many complications. I mean, if your computer's pushing, 4 or 5 years old, you might have some issues. But I just feel like most people should be able to hit this, no problem. And again, hopefully your computer is ready for Legion, because I know mine is, as long as nothing crashes or breaks. Where's wood? Knock on wood. There we go. I'm like, where's the wood? That's my mouse pad. Oh, man. But anyways, yeah, I thought I'd, like I said, just do this video real quick, real brief, just to put the information out there for you guys so you could have it as a point of reference and get the link yourself if you were unaware of this being released. And then partly because literally all the PvP footage I had went missing or was corrupted for some reason. I have no idea why. I was so mad about it the other day. So I'm kind of strapped for footage. So I thought with this information dropping today, it'd be fun. And we don't really do a whole lot of WoW news, so some of the other stuff that was released on Wowhead seemed a little bit out of our range of what we do here. So I thought I would at least talk about the system specs. But hopefully, again, your computer is ready for Legion. Hopefully you don't need to do too many upgrades. And you guys are as excited about the expansion as I am, because I know I can't wait for it to get here. I'm just so excited. All the content coming, things to do, new continent to explore. Warriors look great. Demon Hunters look like a blast. So there's that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video or found it at least somewhat informative, helpful. Don't forget to share it with a friend if you think they would find it helpful as well. Don't forget to follow me on all the different social media platforms we have going here. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can find links to all of those, except the Instagram. Down in the description below, you can find all the other addresses up top where you can just kind of type them in and follow me there. If you guys are into that sort of thing, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if I didn't say that already, if you haven't done so already. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.